Hello, welcome back to round 4 of the Grand Prix Rejectc Championship from Buenos Aires. So you join us for pre-qualifying. I've decided to condense all the Grand Prix Rejects into just one single stream, because I thought it was taking a little bit too much effort. I probably shouldn't need to, so I'm just going to do it in one single. So yeah, we're still going to have pre-qualifying though, and then afterwards I'm going to eliminate the 4 slowest cars, as usual. Then we'll go into qualifying and then the race. So far in this Grand Prix Rejectc Championship, it's been dominated by the battle between Simtek and the Pacifics. The 1994, 95 Simtecs and Pacifics. Is there anyone going to try and spoil their domination? Maybe Taki Inoue, because he really needs to bounce back after his woeful race last time out in Interlagos, when he started on the front row of the grid, but then dropped right behind all and then fell down the order. When I rewatched the race replay later on, it turns out Taki Inoue got tangled up in one of the Pacifics on the start-finish straight. So I think it had been raining during the race. Well, anyway, we have had quite a lot of rain-affected sessions so far, but thankfully so far today, pre-qualifying, or at least for pre-qualifying, things are looking a little bit drier. So let's go back into the action. So in pre-qualifying, the first 3 drivers so far the only 3 drivers out of 10 so far to set times. Well, 4 now. Perry McCarthy, the Stig. And he has been one of the faster pre-qualifiers. Second, it's surprise, it's Olivier Griard. Tarquini 3rd. Gregor Wojtek 4th. And Tarquini is coming up to pass one of the MasterCard Lolas. Predictably, the Lola's going slow as usual. Last time out though in Interlagos, Giacomelli nearly managed to make it through into normal qualifying. Thanks to the rain and the 1989 cars, for whatever reason or another, they just don't have any grip in wet weather. They just spend the whole time lighting up the rear tyres, even if they put wet tyres on. Anyway, we're currently riding with one of the 1989 cars, Gregor Wojtek, in his nice orangey Eurobrun. And now we wait for everybody else to finish setting their initial times. And there's Giovanna Amati. She's been doing pretty well in pre-qualifying so far, as she passes the surprise man, Olivier Griard's Fonmetal. Amati acquitted herself quite well in the race last time out into Lagos. I think she started in the points, but dropped back a little bit in the end. I think she finished 8th. It was a long time ago though. Feels like an age since then. Anyway, on other news, we can look forward to getting back behind the wheel of the Magic Jag next weekend. I've missed driving it. I've also missed driving against the LMP cars, other Group C cars. I also think, as we're going to be going to Le Mans, and because it allows a massive field of cars, I'm going to throw in some GT1s there as well. Gregor Wojtek goes second in the Eurobrun. Tarquini is up to 3rd. He's been doing usually quite well in pre-qualifying, but fell foul of the rain last time out. And Wojtek's coming up to Ricardo Tossa. Or at least I think it's Rosset. Giacomelli is currently 7th. Interesting. Actually, no, he has dropped down to 8th now. Yeah, I've just realised Giacomelli, 1:38. So Spiri and Chavez haven't really set representative times yet. Chavez has. Or Rosset has now. So right now, Giacomelli has dropped back down to his normal place. Rock bottom. Mikhail Bartels, that wasn't a good lap. Pedro Chavez. So yeah, Chavez and Bartels. One of the MasterCard Lolas, Ricardo Rosset. I've decided to shorten the length of the qualifying and pre-qualifying sessions as well, just to streamline it. But the race distance will still remain the same. 50% race distance compared to what the full Grand Prix will have been. So no change there. Right, and Wojtek has gone fastest. Stiggy still second though. So let's have a look who may need to get their finger out. Well, currently, surprise, surprise, Olivier Griard. He looks like he needs to get a move on to try and keep himself safe. Mind you, that is quite a fairly big gap. 0.8 of a second back to Bartels, the first of those who look like they will get eliminated. And as Griard goes back into the pits.
It's surprise, surprise, it's Olivier Griard.
It was surprise, surprise.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
So at least the soundboard is working well.
And he's spun his pizza through 180 degrees.
I don't think Giacomelli will ever be going fast enough to spin his life in 180 degrees. Those tyres on that life car surely probably don't get any stress put through them, given how slow it is. We're now into the final 2 minutes of the session. Perry McCarthy is back out on track. Although I think realistically we're not going to see many late surprises. Chavez is blocking McCarthy. The Stiggy will be livid. He'll probably just stand there with his arms folded after the session though. Chavez, you are blocking the Stig. And as things currently stand, you're going home. Into the pits comes Chavez. Tarquini's also on track. Everyone but Bartels and Giovanna Amati are all on track. In all fairness to Amati, she doesn't need to go back out. I think she's quite... Oh yeah, she really is quite comfortably safe in 4th. Bartels is a full 5 seconds back from Amati. So she's comfortably through. Everybody else out. Everybody else except Bartels, Chavez. And we're coming to the final minute. I don't think we're going to have any late movers or shakers. So as things currently stand, Bartels, Chavez, Ricardo Tossa and Giacomelli are all being eliminated. Giacomelli's in the pits. And who can blame him with 20 seconds to go? Rosset's back out on track. But does he have enough time though? As we currently watch Gabriele Tarquini. And the session is over. So now we just got to wait for all 5 cars remaining on track. No, there's going to be no more improvers, or rather, it's just Rosset who we are waiting for. We don't want to be watching Tarquini and Wojtek, we want to be watching Riccardo Tossa. Where is Rosset? I don't know whose cars that is down there. Still waiting for Tarquini to come by. I'm still waiting to see where Riccardo Rosset is. Ah, here's Rosset. Now what's he going to do? He's the last man waiting to cross the line. Is he going to make any improvements? No, he's going to the pit. That's it. He's out. Riccardo Rosset, Bruno Giacomelli, Pedro Chavez and Mikael Bartels have all been eliminated. Don't go away, folks. Welcome back, folks. So far, Bruno Giacomelli, Riccardo Tossa, Mikael Bartels, and Pedro Chavez have all been eliminated. Hello, what's all this going on here? Ah, is it raining again? Well, certainly looks like it is. There's a bit of spray on track. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. The 1989 cars have already been affected by the damp track. And they're just going to spend the whole... Yeah, they're just going to spend the whole session just skating their way round. So in this like I did with the pre-qualifying, I'd say shorten this to 20 minutes just to streamline things a little bit. And there's David Brabham, the championship leader, being held up by Oscar Larori. And here's Roberto Moreno and Giovanna Amati. 9 cars. Just like in Interlagos. Such is life. And here's Larori holding up Taki Inoue. Taki Inoue will be hoping for a better performance here today, after he had a miserable race in Interlagos after qualifying on the front row. Now we're still waiting for most people to set their first lap times. They're not really going to be not really representative. Larori's holding up the Stig. Yep, both the Andrea motors are being held up by Larori, as Larori's just spinning himself all over the track. As we join Larori, well, we did join him. Schneider not quite as affected, not as badly as Larori. But yeah, something needs to be done with these tyres the 1989 cars bring with them. All the other teams have offered to lend them their tyres, but they refuse. They refuse to accept help from their opposition because they are stubborn. That's why they just continuously drive around on the track. Now the Lambos, are they going to have a better race performance? Because no matter how well they do in qualifying, they always plummet down the order during the race so far. Bertrand Gachot has taken provisional pole position. There's our pole position man being balked by Larori. Pedro Diniz has taken pole position in the 40. Belmondo in the other Pacific, the 94 Pacific, has moved up to second. Luca Badoa has now taken provisional pole position. These times are probably going to start tumbling as well, because right now it's all a lottery on how well people are going to be doing on their laps. It depends on how much time they lose behind all the 1989 cars. Everyone's still on track. Belmondo goes past the Zach speed. There goes David Brabham, as Scatterella's held up by one of the Zach speeds of Suzuki. So currently it is a 41-2. Luca Badoa from Pedro Diniz. And Vincenzo Sospiri really struggling around there as well. Well, actually, I say struggling, he's up in 15th place. He's probably quite lucky that he's probably not been blocked, or has had a bit of a rub of the green in terms of traffic, as Suzuki almost goes off. More traffic behind Pierre-Henri Raffanel. So as things currently stand, Luca Badoa, Pedro Diniz in second, Belmondo third, Giovanna Amati fourth. Another good qualifying performance from her so far. And then Domenico Schiattarella fifth, David Brabham sixth, Jean-Denis Delatraz seventh, Bertrand Gachot eighth, Stiggy Perry McCarthy ninth, the man who Aguri Suzuki is blocking. Giovanni Lavaggi's now moved up to fifth, Scatterell sixth, David Brabham now seventh, Delatraz, and there's Schneider spinning. Larori causing all kinds of chaos there. I think Bernd Schneider is out of the session. He hasn't got going again since he spun. We'll go up to 12 minutes to go in the session. Volker Weidler still struggling. At this point, you just wonder yourself, why? Well, these are Grand Prix reject drivers at the end of the day. Bernd Schneider. Oh wait, seems he has got going again. Was it Suzuki who had stopped? Well, at this point it's a bit futile. So, Assetto's Kyrgyzstan, Luca Badoa in the 41st, Gasho in the Pacific 2nd, Pedro Diniz in the 43rd, Paul Belmondo 4th in the other Pacific Gilmore, Giovanni Matti 5th in the Brabham, good performance so far, Giovanni Lavaggi, Johnny Carwar 6th, 7th, Jean-Marc Gounon, as that fishtail Eurobron causes more problems, Scatterola 8th, David Brabham 9th. He'll be disappointed so far. The Simtek team will be pretty disappointed so far. Because again, it's probably just the luck of the draw in terms of how badly they get affected by the traffic. Vincenzo Sospiri up in 18th. Now, we've got down to 11th. Perrin McCarthy, Andrea Montemedi, Eugene Day 13th. Surprise, surprise, Olivier Griard 40th. Roberto Moreno won't be too happy so far, down in 15th. And then Taki Inoue. What is going on with Taki Inoue? Is this the part of the season where everything's just crumbled apart from him? Diniz carves his way past the MasterCard Lola Vincenzo Sospiri. And then Eric van der Poel 19th in the Lambo. Volker Weidler 20th. Oguri Suzuki 21st, Pierre-Henri Raffinot 22nd, Bernd Schneider 23rd, Tarquini 24th, Wojtek 25th, Larori 26th. Oh, and a big mover and shaker, Taki Inoue, has now moved his way up to second position. Taki Inoue has improved up to second place on the starting grid as things currently stand. Luca Badoa still holds provisional pole position. Giovanni Amati has moved up to third position now. Excellent showing from Amati. She really is acquitting herself now. And she seems to be building onwards, having a good start. And acquitting herself well. Now the next question is, can anyone challenge Luca Badoa, because currently he is 0.5 of a second clear of Taki Inoue. Giovanna Amati is 0.9 behind as well. And that's a lot, that's a big gaggle of cars stuck behind Larori and Raffinel's Real. So Spear is finding his way through, and as is Delatraus. There's Belmondo, our current provisional pole position. Luca Badoa was blocked as well. I think he's also going to get stuck behind that Lambo, given how that Lambo has its beautiful sounding Lamborghini V12. Powerful, but an absolute dog of a car during the race, given how it just drops down the order. And here comes Taki Inoue. I just saw him briefly come up to the back of the Real. 8 minutes to go. Still plenty of time for things to change. Everybody's still running. And Bernschneider's gone off again. Gasho's found himself a clean way past Andrea Montemini. Can Gasho have a nice clean lap? Right now, if you can get yourself a clear lap, that's your bet. Oh no, no chance. Because now he's caught up to the train. Yeah. Fishtailing Raphael. And there's the one that's Zach Speeds. Yeah, I think that is Schneider who's just like permanently decided, oh, you know what, I've had enough. He's phoned it in for the day. He's thrown in the old Hulk Hogan, that don't work for me, brother. He's phoned it in. We now ride Roberto Moreno behind his teammate, the Stig. As they try and work their way past one of the MasterCard Lolas. Off goes Larori again. Having a slow motion accident. At this point, may as well just pull over. I'll go back to the pits. There's some cars back in the pits, so I think we've had a few accidents. Right now in the pits, we've got Nicola Larini, Bell Schneider, Volker Weidler, Aguri Suzuki, Gabriele Tarquini. Yeah, I think they have all decided to just phone it in for the day. So with less 1989 cars on track fishtailing about as Olivier Griard of all people struggle to find their way past. As we now come towards, starting to head towards the final 5 minutes. It's anybody's game. And there's the Europe run of Larori. Pulled over at the side. I think he's had enough for the day. And that's a right big tail of cars stuck behind the Van der Poel's Lambo. The Stigs are trying to find the way past. Try and get a clean lap in. With less 1989 cars around on track. Raphael's still on track though. Five minutes to go precisely. Luca Badoa still provisional pole position. Taki Inoue still provisionally second. Giovanna Amati, great performance from Paul Belmondo still fourth. Pedro Diniz still fifth. Gasho still fifth. Sixth. David Brabham won't be too happy down in seventh. Delatraz eighth. Scatterall ninth. Johnny Carwash 10th. Montemini won't be too happy down in 10th. 11th. With his teammate Badoa up on provisional pole position. UJ Ide, we've not seen much of him today. Mind you, maybe it's because he's not been causing any accidents for once. Perry McCarthy 14th, Roberto Moreno 15th. So the Andrea Motors won't be too happy. In fact, it's almost 2 by 2. Jean-Marc Gounon finds his way past one of the Lambos. Now can he enjoy a nice clean lap? Now where is he currently in the timings? Where is Gounon currently in the timings? He is currently 12th. So yes, he'll be disappointed so far. David Brabham currently 7th. Scatterola 9th. Oh, things are starting to get interesting now. Taki Inoue is now just 4/100ths of a second down from Luca Badoa. Taki Inoue is determined to take pole position away from Luca Badoa in the dying moments. Now Badoa's got Delatraz all over his rear wing. I'm going to keep my eyes on the timing screens. Can we have any other late improvers as well? I think Giovanna Amati looks like she's got some more time to be found as well. Oh, and off goes Delatraz. Delatraz has spun. I think she's been spun around by Amati. And Taki Inoue's been caught up in the incident as well, because he's now caught in the tangle. Lavaji Johnny Carwash being caught up behind the Lambo. Now it seems that the tangled mess seems to have now been sorted out. Now, can David Bradman make any further improvements? I don't think he will if he's got Denitz in front of him. Now, can Taki Inoue take pole position in the final 90 seconds? It's all to play for. And what about Paul Belmondo? Can he improve further? Delatraz is in the pits. So I think he must have got caught up in an accident. Yeah, I think that must have been an accident. He must have taken damage following his spin. Surprise, surprise, Olivier Griard being bought by, one of the Eurobruns is still circulating, still being a nuisance. 1 minute to go. And that's it. That's the last of the 1989 cars finally spinning off. Wojtek still circulating. Now can Taki Inoue have a nice clean lap? Taki Inoue has enough time for one more lap. And he's being bought by Olivier Griard. Taki Inoue finds his way past. We're now into the final 30 seconds. Can Taki Inoue find enough time? And mind you, Luca Badoa, he's got, look up Amati. We've got the top 3 all joined together on track like it's a race. Oh, Perry McCarthy. Perry McCarthy, the Stig. He's moved up to 3rd. Perry McCarthy has moved up to 3rd position. Taki Inoue is being held up by our current provisional pole sitter, Luca Badoa. Taki Inoue goes past Roberto Moreno, the other Andrea Moda. He's now moved up to 4th. Fantastic stuff. Now, can Taki Inoue take pole position now that he's got clear traffic in front of him? The qualifying session is over as we now wait for Taki Inoue to cross the line. And Mati's being bought by Badoa, so I don't think she's going to improve. And now where's Taki Inoue? There's Taki Inoue coming to the final corner. Is Taki Inoue going to improve? I don't think he's improved, unfortunately. Any further late improvers? No, unfortunately not. Luca Badoa has taken pole position for the Argentine Grand Prix Rejectc race. The first time a 40 is on pole position. Our question is, will he be able to hold on to the lead? Is that it? And now we go straight into the race now. Let's go through the grid before we get started. Luca Badoa, pole position. Taki Inoue, 2nd. Excellent effort from Perry McCarthy and the Andrea Moda to line up 3rd on the grid. Paul Belmondo moved up to 4th at the final dying moment. Excellent performance from Roberto Moreno as well. Giovanna Amati 6th. Pedro Denise 7th. David Brabham disappointed down in 8th. And then the other Simtek of Scatterola, Bertrand Gachot down in 10th. Jean-Marc Gounon disappointing 11th. Delatraz 12th. Johnny Carwash, Giovanni Lavaggi 13th. It's all starting to fall apart a little bit for Delatraz and Lavaggi in the 1995 Pacifics. Andrea Montemini, he'll be livid down in 14th after seeing his teammate Luca Bador on pole position. UJ Ide, anonymous so far. Mind you, I suppose it's probably because he's kept it out of trouble. 16th, surprise, surprise, Olivier Griard, Eric van der Poel and Lorini in the Lambo, 17th and 18th. Vincenzo Sospiri, good effort in the MasterCard Lola after squeezing his way through pre-qualifying. And then it looks like all the rest of the 1989 cars. Bernd Schneider, Volker Weidler, Oguri Suzuki, Raffanel, Tarquini, Wojtek and Luluri. And it looks like we've got a wet race in store. Oh boy. I think I think this is going to be chaos with the 1989 cars in this race. I don't think they're going to last very long. Right, let's get started. Watch for the lights. And it's go, 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 go. And there goes and there goes Lorini trying to have a look down the turn. Taki Inoue's taken the lead. Taki Inoue's taken the lead. Now, can he pull away? Can Luca Bador hold on to second? Perry McCarthy's third, Paul Belmondo fourth, Roberto Moreno fifth, Amati sixth, Scatterell seventh, Gounon eighth, Dennis ninth, David Brabham's moved down to 10th, Johnny Carwash 11th, Bertrand Gachot 12th, Eric van der Poel's had a good start in the Lambo. Will he stay there? Delatraz, he'll be livid. He's had a bad start in the Pacific, down to 14th. Montemini 15th, Bernd Schneider 16th, Yuji Day 17th, Olivier Griard, surprise, surprise 18th, Aguri Suzuki 19th, Gabriele Tarquini 20th, Vincenzo Sospiri 21st, Volker Weidler, Oscar Leruri, Pierre-Henri Laffarel, Gregor Wojtek, and the last runner so far, Nicola Rurini. And right now, Luca Bador is going to try and find his way back past Taki Inoue. And already they're starting to pull away from the rest of the pack, being led by the Stig. Andrea Moda are on for a good point all there. I can imagine the Stig will want to win this race. I mean, he's got a winning mentality. He wants to stick for a reason. We now ride with Paul Belmondo as we complete lap 1. That's a long way to go. David Brabham's still 8th. None of the Simtecs in the points currently. Giovanna Amati still 6th. Because if she can score a point after performing well last time out in Brazil. We've got a bit of a Stig train now. Because the McCarthy, he has now dropped 6 seconds behind Taki Inoue and Luca Bador. Taki Inoue is 1 second clear of Luca Bador. Paul Belmondo, I think he's going to have a look. Hang back just for now. And now already we've got the Pacific Simtek battle. Now what can Paul Belmondo do? He's going to have a look. Judd V10 Power versus Ilmore V10 Power. I think. Oh, they bang wheels. Belmondo's got past. Paul Belmondo has moved up to 3rd. Can he close on Taki Inoue and Luca Bador? UJE Day's dropped down the order. None of the Simtecs in the top 6 so far. And they're not making much of an impression on Amati either. They're not closing on her. Gachot's 9th. He'll be fancying his chances of passing David Brabham. But Gachot wants to be careful because the last time he tried to pass David Brabham was in Melbourne And he binned it. Taki Inoue still leads as you see him and Badoa go by. Paul Belmondo's already pulling miles clear of Perry McCarthy. He's 10 seconds back from Taki Inoue though. Can he close in? So currently on lap 3, as you were, Luca Badoa's close to win 2. Yeah, it's closing. Badoa is closing. And now we join at the right moment. Also, I think Paul Belmondo is also starting to close as well. We'll keep an eye on those times. But as things currently stand, looks like we could be on for a win for Taki Inoue.
For Taki Inoue.
Now, where's Griard currently?
It's surprise, surprise. It's Olivier Griard.
Currently down in, I can't even see. I can't. Down in 18th. A fairly anonymous race so far. Actually, it seems like the 1989 car seems to be working a little bit better here. So, yeah, I think the track is probably not quite as wet as it was in qualifying. There's less puddles around. And now it's the battle of the Andrea Modas between Roberto Moreno and Perry McCarthy. And Luca Badoa's all over the back of Taki Inoue now. Belmondo's still pulling away from Perry McCarthy. Gasho's now moved up. Yeah, I think that's Gasho. Yes, it's Gasho's now moved his way into the points. And now we've got both Goonon and David Brabham now having a look all over the back of Amatis Brabham. Andrea Montemini down in 15th. He won't be too happy with this so far, given his teammate Badoa is up in 2nd. And mind you, Pedro Denitz won't be too much happier, as he had an opportunity as well to have a good qualifying session as being an early pace setter. Roberto Moreno has got Gasho all over the back of his rear wing. And now we've cut away to a back marker battle. And there's Paul Belmondo. The top 3 all now within the same camera shot. I think Inoue's looking quite safe right now, as Luca Badoa doesn't seem to be trying to make any moves on him. Right, here's David Brabham. Are we going to see any team orders? Any Simtek team orders? Especially given Brabham is leading in the championship. Will we hear Nick Worth going on the radio? Mind you, we don't have access to the team radios here. This is only the Rejectc Championship. We don't have the budget to broadcast those. Bertrand Gasho still looking for a way past Roberto Moreno. Delatraz and Montemini having a battle. And they're stuck behind one of the Lambos. I think it's Van der Poel. Yep. Actually, yeah, Eric Van der Poel having a decent race so far. Where's his teammate Larini, the other Lambo? I can't see Larini's. Oh, interesting. Yeah, Larini has dropped out of the race. I don't know what happened, but Larini has dropped out. And now we join Johnny Carwash, Giovanni Lavaggi in the 95 Pacific, trying to make his way past Pedro Denitz. And now we rejoin the battle between the Andrea Modas. And I think that's Gasho having a look. I can hear the Ilmo. Yep, Gasho's made his way past Moreno. But not for very long. And Moreno's covered off the line. He's going to keep he's saying, if you want to try and find a way past, you're going to have to try a little bit harder. Paul Belmondo has made his way past Luca Badoa. And ever so easily as well. That was just like, he just blasted his way past. Is Luca Badoa in trouble? And there's Gasho having another look on Moreno. In the same place, Belmondo just waltzed his way past Belmondo. No, where Belmondo waltzed his way past Badoa. So Paul Belmondo is closing in on Taki Inoue. So don't go away, folks. Can Taki Inoue hold on to the lead? Luca Badoa is dropping back, plummeting down the order. And there's Yuji Ide, stuck behind Eric van der Poel's Lambo. And here goes Gasho trying to find his way past the Stig. Gasho's going to try the inside line. He's got him. Gasho's going to make the move stick, I think, as we cut to a battle between Wojtek and Vincenzo Sospiri. Yeah, Sospiri's dropping his way down the order. The last person currently running is... Oh, Jones Denise Delatraz has dropped out the race. Yeah, we missed it. Don't know what happened. But Jean Denis Delatraz is out of this race. And now we've got Jean-Marc Gounon looking all over, breathing down the neck of Roberto Moreno and Perry McCarthy. And Matty's still holding off David Brabham. Domenico Schiattarella not having a good race weekend so far. Started well down the order. And now he's under a threat from Andrea Montemini 40. And now we've got the battle for the lead. This is the battle for the lead. Paul Belmondo's having a look. Taki Inoue staying, keeping the outside line. Oh, Paul Belmondo's taking the lead. And now we've got back markers already to spice things up. Our race leaders have already caught up the back markers. This could throw some elements of chaos. And now we see Olivier Grillard, Aguri Suzuki, and Pierre-Henri Raffinol. Oh, and of course the Eurobrun. I don't know what happened there, but Paul Belmondo has punted off the Eurobrun. Now, has Belmondo taken any damage? Taki Inoue is still second. And now Roberto Moreno started trying to look for a way past his teammate. Now I think we want to be watching the battle between Belmondo and the traffic. Because Belmondo was closing up on Vincenzo Sospiri's MasterCard Lola. No change in the lead. Luca Badoa still third. Bertrand Gachot still fourth. And then the Andrea Motors of McCarthy and Moreno round out the point scorers. With Jean-Marc Gounon breathing down their necks. Giovanna Amati is still hanging on. And she's closed back up on Gounon as well. And right on cue, we join Moreno, Gounon, Amati and David Brabham. Paul Belmondo still leads. Taki Inoue seems to have closed back up on him. Just 0.2 of a second between them now. Belmondo is poorly caught in traffic. I think we want to be watching that back. Yep, we now join the battle. And he's being held up by the other Eurobrun and one of the Reals. Now can Taki Inoue make his way past? We've cut away at a worst possible moment. We want to be watching the battle between Belmondo and Taki Inoue. Is Taki Inoue making his way past the traffic? He's still fourth. Yeah, he's still less than a second behind Paul Belmondo. It's all action so far. Johnny Car Wash not in the points. Not a good race for the 95 Pacific so far. After topping pre-season testing, and all of a sudden they found themselves dropping down the order. Maybe it's a case of the other team finding ways to make their cars go faster without upgrading them. The Andrea Motors still in the points, holding off the Simtecs. Paul Belmondo still leads. Bertrand Gachot's now up to third. He's found his way past Luca Badoa. We didn't see what happened. Gachot's already streaking off into the distance ahead of Badoa. Goulon's still 7th. David Brabham's still 9th. And still not making any impression on Giovanna Amati. Whatever reason, the cameraman is focusing more on the battle between Sciatarola and Andrea Montabini. Now look at this. Gachot is closing in on Taki Inoue and Paul Belmondo. I've got a feeling it's soon going to be a 94 Pacific 1-2. And Delatraz and Johnny Car Wash are going to be looking on quite enviously at their teammates in the other car. Taki Inoue hasn't gone away yet though. I think he's dropped back quite a bit, so I think he's probably got stuck in traffic. And here comes Domenico Sciatarola, it's the Mastercarlo of Suspiri. Now this could be an opportunity. We've got quite a queue forming up behind the Andrea Motors now. The Stick finds his way, he's trying to make his way past Suspiri's Lola. Moreno the same. They could probably use their Juv V10 engines. Just blast, yeah, they just blast their way past. Gounon finds his way past. Kanamati trying to follow. No, I'm afraid not. And now we've got the battle between Surprise. Oh! Off goes this! Off goes Weidler! Off goes Surprise Olivier Griard! Now there's a tangle in a bit. And David Bramham's been bought by the Lola. But not for very long. And there's the Rio and there's the Formatal. I think they're both out of the race. Olivier Griard and Volker Weidler. I think they are both out of this race. We now rejoin the Andrea Motors. Oh no, Raffanel's still running. I can't remember who's running in the other car. Paul Belmondo still leads, and he's starting to pull away from Taki Inoue now. Bertrand Gachot's now 10 seconds behind Taki Inoue, so I'll probably need to keep an eye on their times. And there's the confirmation that Olivier Griard is out of the race. Tangled in another mess. Now, next question. Is he going to cause me any issues when I do my 1992-1997 season? Is he in the Tyrrell? Well, right now, we're watching a battle between Johnny Car Wash and Pedro Diniz. Perry McCarthy and Roberto Moreno are now outside to close in on Luca Badoa. But right now, they're stuck in a right gaggle of cars. Well, Gounon is struggling to find a way past them. And there's one of the Zach Speeds out of the race as well. It's all kicking off here now. Oh, and Moreno got pretty badly bought by the Real. Well, thankfully, Gounon didn't take any advantage of it. Come on, Roberto. Oh, he just he's taken the Real off. Off goes Raffanel. I think that'll be him. I think that'll be Raffanel's race done. As he cut up Roberto Moreno's Andrea Moda, and Moreno decided, right, I've had enough of this. Off you go. And now Gunon is stuck behind one of the Eurobruns. It's Gregor Wojtek running last. Maybe Giovanna Amati can take advantage of this. Yeah, especially with David Bradman. He's now stuck behind Gregor Wojtek. Matter still 8th, still behind Jean-Marc Gounon. Perry McCarthy is now closing in on Luca Badoer. And Pedro Denitz has now closed in on the... Yeah, it's all kicking off now. There's now Denitz and Lavargi is now closing in on the Simtex. And no one's coming to the pits as of yet either. Are they waiting for the right moment to change tyres? Taki Inoue has now closed right back up to Paul Belmondo. It's not all over yet. Because we're not even halfway through the race yet. And Taki Inoue is now starting to pull away from Bertrand Gachot as well. So it looks like Gachot is going to have a lonely race now, with Luca Badoer 35 seconds behind him. Perry McCarthy has now closed right up on Luca Badoer. I can see the 40 in the background, and there it is. We now rejoin at the right moment. McCarthy having a look. This is the Stig. The Stig is going to have a look on the inside. Can he make it stick? Perry McCarthy has moved up to 4th. He has jumped Luca Badoer's 40. Can Roberto Moreno follow him through? The Simtex are now starting to drop back. And Giovanna Amati has now closed right back up on the other Simtek of Gounon. We've got some right good battles going on all over the track. And Badoer's now starting to drop back. Oh, can we see Roberto Moreno? I think he's going to try and make a move on the outside. Is Roberto Moreno going to have a look? Yes. Roberto Moreno. Both the Andrea Motors have now moved past the pole sitter. And Taki Inoue is still clinging to the back of Paul Belmondo's Pacific. Although he's going to have to find his way past Gregor Wojtek first. And there go the Andrea Motors as they try to lap the Lamborghini. Oh, what's all this? It's all kicking off. Jean-Marc Gounon's trying to find his way past Luca Badoer. I think Badoer's got a problem. And there's Amati. Amati's having a look at 3 cars wide into the first corner. Wheel to wheel stuff. Fantastic. Amati has taken Gounon. Fantastic stuff. 3 cars wide down the start-finish straight. And there's still a long way to go in this race. I think I just saw one of the Lamborghinis stuck at the side. It's the Gabriele Tarquini. He's gone off. He's going to try and get going again though. He's still in the race. He's going to be a long way down though. With both the Andrea Motors carve away past the Zach speed of Val Schneider. Oh no, not quite. Schneider box Moreno. None of the Simtex currently in the top point in the points. Especially Giovanna Amati being very plucky. That is very plucky driving from her. And Luca Badoer has now dropped out our pole sitter. He's just plunging down the order. I think he's got a problem. Luca Badoer, I think, has got a problem. And now we rejoin the battle for the lead. As Vincenzo Sospiri, the MasterCard loader, has been lapped again. He must be several laps down now. Jean-Marc Gounon trying to make his way past Eric van der Poel's Lambo. That's a right train of cars. And there's David Brabham. Dinitz closing up. And even Montemini is about, Montemini's right closed up as well. So yeah, I think Badoa has got a problem, a major problem. He's just plunging down through the order now, as Johnny Carwash makes his way past as well, or is about to. Yeah, that's Montemini. Dinitz has passed him as well. And Bernd Schneider is still running. And Giovanna Matti laps him. And she's still got the Simtex glued to her rear wing. We're now coming up to the halfway point of the race. With half the race gone, there's still half a race to go. We've had no pit stops yet either, which is quite amazing.
It's a win for Taki Inoue.
Could be still on for a win for Taki. There's still half a race to go, still a long way to go. Plenty more twists and turns to come yet as well. Taki Inoue is still glued to the back of Paul Belmondo's rear wing. Look, he'll be looking for the opportune moment to pass the Pacific. Beltran Gasho in the other 94 Pacific, he's a long way back from Taki Inoue. Perry McCarthy and Roberto Moreno. Andrea Moda in for a good haul of points today. Giovanna Amati in the final point position at the moment. Jean-Marc Gounon, David Brabham. Bad day for Simtek so far. Sciattarella is a long way down in 13th place. We've not seen much of Yuji Ide today. He's behind Domenico Sciattarella as well. Mind you, maybe it's probably because Yuji Ide's just been so anonymous so far. Hasn't been causing any incidents. What can Roberto Moreno do? We now rejoin the battle for the lead. And now Paul Belmondo is stuck behind Yuji Ide's Super Aguri. Now can Taki Inoue get past his countrymen quicker? We cut away at the wrong moment as Lavaji, as Luca Badoa, our pole sitter, is struggling to lap Van der Poel. We don't want to be watching the battle between the Simtex either, because they're outside the point. We want to be watching the battle between Taki Inoue and Belmondo. Well, that's in currently stand. We'll look at the timing board. There, finally. We now rejoin Belmondo. Oh, and Belmondo makes contact. Taki Inoue's doing a bit of wheel banging against his countryman Ide. Yuji Ide and the Eurobrun of Foyte, they are causing havoc. And here comes Taki Inoue. He's having a look. We cut away at the wrong moment again. Taki Inoue's taking the lead, I can tell you that. But we cut away at the wrong moment, Mr. TV Director. What are you doing? Thank you. And there we go. Taki Inoue has retaken the lead. And UJED is still being a nuisance because they've still not found a way past him. Come on, Mr. Director. We shouldn't be watching Montemini. We should be watching Taki Inoue. Thank you. Now, what can Paul Belmondo do? Well, right now, UJED is still in front of him. Here we go. Belmondo, he'll be fancying a look. But we've cut away at the wrong point yet again. We want to be watching the battle for the lead, Director. Come on, Mr. TV Director. We want to be watching the battle for the lead, not the battle between teammates. Well, right now, Taki Inoue still leads, I can tell you that. I'm watching the timing board. Thank you, referee. Join the battle for the lead. And Yuji Ide is still blocking. What does he think he's doing? Yuji Ide is a back marker. He should be letting Taki Inoue through. Well, mind you, these are Grand Prix rejects for a reason. Various people who don't let back markers through. Right, can Taki Inoue find... Oh, this is going to be a... yeah, Paul Belmondo's been bought. And Taki Inoue is going to make his way past Yuji Ide as we cut away yet again to the 240s. We don't want to be watching the 40s. We want to be watching Taki Inoue. Now that is quite a good battle, but right now... Oh, actually, yeah, this could be quite an interesting battle as the MasterCard Lola's bought the Stig. Now, I don't know what's going on with the leaders in their quest to get past Yuji Ide, the back marker. Taki Inoue still leads, though, I can tell you that. That's a guarantee. Belmondo's still right behind him, though. Have they made their way past Yuji Ide, though? Yes, they seem to have made their way past Yuji Ide. And now Taki Inoue's come up to Domenico Scatarola's Simtek. Yeah, Yuji Ide's not dropping away from Paul Belmondo either. That's going to cause some chaos later in the race when the rest of the leaders come up to lap Yuji Ide. Andre Melder's go by. So retirement so far. Oscar Larori, my guess. And there goes Wojtek. He's still running behind Vincenzo Sospiri. Tarquini's also out of the race. Aguri Suzuki, Piero-Henri Raffinol, Volker Weidler, Olivier Greard, John Denis Delatraz and Nicola Larini. We don't know what happened with Larini though. On lap 22, Taki Inoue still leads from Paul Belmondo. Beltran Gasho a long way back. A good points haul for Pacific despite the failures of their 95 car parts. Gasho a long way back though. Perry McCarthy and Roberto Moreno are pretty much tied together. As things stand, Andrea Moda are in for a good points haul as we see the two Simtecs struggling to get past Gregor Wojtek. Giovanna Matti, the last person in the points. Jean-Marc Goulon 7th. Andrea Mantomini has moved his way up to 8th now. And there's Denitz, Johnny Carwash, Luca Badua, who was our pole sitter. I think Badua has probably taken damage, which probably explains why he's dropped down the order. Now, can Montemini work his way past Gounon? There's been no pit stops yet either. Yeah, still no pit stops been held yet. And there's Van der Poel. I think he's about to be lapped by Yuji Ide of all people. Yeah. Let's see Yuji Ide struggle to pass Van der Poel. Or maybe not struggle to get past Van der Poel. Belschneider 15th, Van der Poel 16th, Suspiri 17th, and last of the current running cars, Gregor Wojtek. Oh, and off goes Wojtek. The struggling there. And there's Denitz carving his way past the Lola, the MasterCard Lola. Yeah, I'm getting a bit peckish now. And now there's Yuji Ide struggling to make his way past Scatarella. Taki Inoue still leads. Paul Belmondo is still chasing him. He's not giving up on the wing yet. Beltran Gasho a long way back. Perry McCarthy, likewise a long way back from Beltran Gasho. Roberto Moreno glued to his rear wing. Giovanna Matti about 5-6 seconds back. Andrea Montemini 10 seconds back. He's made his way past both the Simtecs. As things currently stand, nil point for Simtek. Mind you, there's still a long way to go yet. About a third of the race still to run. Anything can happen, especially in the GP Rejectc Championship. And back markers, and especially chaos being caused by back markers, could still play a big part here. David Brabham 9th, stuck behind Jean-Marc Gouron. Nick Wurth will not be happy today. No points for any of the Simtecs. Domenico Scatter having a particularly bad race as well. Struggling to hold off UGE Day of all people. Right now, the Simtek team will be hoping for a miracle. For something to happen to any of the cars in front. And especially given how close Roberto Moreno and Perry McCarthy are running to each other. The Simtek team will be hoping for more backmarker chaos especially. Now what's going on in the battle for lead? Taki Inoue still leads, that's for sure. Paul Belmondo still right behind him. Bertrand Gachot quite a long way back. I don't think he's going to catch either Belmondo or Taki Inoue. Roberto Moreno trying to pass Van der Poel's Lambo. That Lambo V12 has a lot of grunt. And it's such an ever so beautiful sounding engine as well. Giovanni Lavaggi, Johnny Car Wash, the winner of the first race of the season in Phoenix. Well, now what's gone wrong for he and Delatraz? Especially after pre-season testing. They'll be particularly jealous given their 94 counterparts are currently running second and third. Lavaggi trying to find his way past Dinitz in the oven. I'm surprised Nick Wurth hasn't tried to call team orders yet. Oh, well, meanwhile, Paul Belmondo is less than a second behind Taki Inoue. Is Taki Inoue stuck in traffic? Oh yes he is, yep. That'll probably be Badoa. Taki Inoue is also coming up to the MasterCard Lola of Suspiria again. Oh, Paul Belmondo, he's going to try and have a look around the outside. Not a good line, because you have to get past the Lola. I think Taki Inoue has made his way past Suspiria's Lola as well. Andrea Montemini has now made his way up to 7th. In fact, he's all over the back of Giovanna Amati. Has Amati got a problem? So 40 could be still on for a point, so they can at least salvage something. After that, after what a dismal race has been for Luca Badoa, after starting on pole position. Badoa has now dropped down to 12th position. Quite a long way ahead of Scatterola and UGE. Oh, and off goes Bernd Schneider. Off goes Bernd Schneider. Is he out of the race? Is he going to try and rejoin? We'll see. We'll wait and see. And Gregor Wojtek is also off as well. Probably also out of the race as well. And it looks like he's not trying to rejoin either. One thing's for sure though, Taki Inoue still leads.
It's a win for Taki Inoue.
And as things currently stand, it could still be a win for Taki Inoue. There's less than 10 laps to go now. Andrea Montemini still trying to find a way past Giovanna Amati for that final championship point. Simtek still on course for no points whatsoever. Something I wasn't really expecting as well, given how good form Simtek have been showing and how they're leading the Constructors' Championship. Keith Wiggins will be pretty reasonably happy with second and third, and Taki Inoue is starting to pull away from Paul Belmondo. Has Paul Belmondo got a problem, or is he stuck in traffic? And look at this, the battle between the Andrea Modas. This is going to keep going right on till the end. A good drive from the Stig and Roberto Moreno as well. They've been on it from the first lap. Been running nose to tail throughout the whole race. They haven't taken each other off either. And look how filthy that rear wing is on Roberto Moreno's car. Now, David Brabham, is he going to try and find a way past Jean-Marc Gounon? Has he been stuck behind Gounon so long? Has David Brabham got anything in the car? Has he got any pace in that car? Like he can at least try and close up on. Well, they're a long way off. Yeah, well over 30 seconds behind Montemini and Amati. And Giovanna Amati, she's now starting to pull away from Dominic. Oh no, she isn't. I'm looking at the wrong timing board. I'm looking at the gap from her to Roberto Moreno. Yeah, Montemini is glued all over her rear wing. And he's having a look. But I think that Joule 310 engine in the back of the Brabham is keeping her ahead of Montemini. David Brabham puts a lap on Eric van der Poel. We're now coming to the final final less than 10 laps to go. Still, anything can happen though. Yeah, Montemini has been bought by Scatterella. What a dismal race for Simtek though. Nick Worth won't be too happy. Anyway, we're spending quite a lot of time with the bloody Simtex. We should be focusing on the battles for the lead and also the battle between Perrin McCarthy and Roberto Moreno. Mind you, Perrin McCarthy is now starting to pull away from Roberto Moreno as well. Could be traffic, I imagine. I think Taki Inoue though, he's on course to win, finally. He should have won the first race of the season in Phoenix, but fell foul when he was lapping David Brabham. Giovanna Amati has made her way past the MasterCard Lola of Suspiria and also UJE without any troubles. I think she can now relax. Yeah, she's managed to pull out a 3-second gap to Andrea Montemini in 7th. A good race from Montemini though, given he started down in 15th and especially given the troubles Luca Badoa has. Round Q, he's about to be lapped by Bertrand Gachot. What a dismal race though for Luca Badoa. It was all looking promising with that pole position, but since the race started, he lost the lead to Taki Inoue on the first lap. And then he's just dropped down the order since then. I think he's probably must have taken some damage somewhere. Or he's got some kind of car problem as Perrin McCarthy is trying to put a lap on him. Oh wait, Perrin McCarthy, he's also close up on Gachot as well. Whilst we've been focusing on all the other battles elsewhere. This is going to be a grandstand finish for that final podium spot. It's between Gachot, the Stig, and Roberto Moreno. Roberto Moreno will be keen to add his podium collection after finishing 3rd at Suzuka in 1990. This is going to be quite a fight to the checkered flag. And Taki Inoue, Paul Belmondo, has closed way up on Taki Inoue again. UJE Day's out. UJE Day has dropped out of the race, I can tell you that. confirmation on screen. I don't know what happened. We're now down to 15 cars still running. There's 5 laps to go. David Brabham's still stuck behind Joe Mark going on, but it's all academic in the end. We want to be watching the battle between McCarthy and Gasho. Now, can Perry McCarthy, the Stig, get past Gasho down the straight? Judd V10 Power versus Ilmore V10 Power. Giovanna Amati's now managed to pull 8 seconds clear of Montemini, so she is safe. We don't want to be watching the Simtek battle though. Paul Belmondo stuck behind Eric van der Poel. He's dropped 10 seconds behind Taki Inoue. So it looks like, as things stand, the win for Taki is secure. It's now the battle for the final podium spot between Gasho, the Stake and Moreno. All running line astern. Don't go anywhere, folks. I'm sure there's still plenty of twists and turns still to go, with 5 laps still running, 15 cars still running, out the 26 who started. Now, I guess it's a question of where can Perry McCarthy or Moreno get past Gasho? We don't want to be watching the Simtek battle. I wonder if the TV director thinks that the Simtex are still out in the lead like they've been in most of the races this season. We want to be watching the battle between McCarthy and Gasho. Thank you. Right on cue. At least the TV director seems to be listening to me for a change. Now, Gasho's got a bit of a straight line speed advantage there. And we've cut away to the battle between the Simtex again. Anyway, the Simtex are surely going to be rejects of the race. And there goes Giovanna Amati lapping the pole sitter, Luca Badoa. That pole position pull felt like an eternity ago. And now we go rejoin the battle for that final podium position. Gasho still holding on. Gasho seems to have pulled away a little bit as well. Oh, now we're coming up to lap. Eric van der Poel again. We don't want to be watching the Simtex. We want to be watching Gasho. Look, Mr. TV director, thank you. I was just about to say, the Simtex are leading the race. Taki Inoue is leading the race. Want to be watching the battle for the final podium place between Gasho and Perry McCarthy. He's now managed to pull away a bit, Gasho, so I think Perry McCarthy he's probably got stuck behind Van der Poel's Lambo. Yeah, and there's Roberto Moreno, he's also got stuck behind Van der Poel as well. So I think the battle for the final podium position seems to be resolved. And now the Simtex struggled to get past Suspiri's MasterCard Lola. Suspiri, the last man running. Last man running. McCarthy's closing up a little bit on Gasho again. We now rejoin our race leader, Taki Inoue. He's on course to take the win. I'm getting ready to run that Murray Walker soundbite again properly. On merit as well. He should have won in Phoenix. Now he's going to win on merit. Luca Badoa has got Pedro. It's. I think he's being lapped by Montemini in 7th. A good drive from Montemini though. I don't know why we're watching the battle between the two Simtex though. Now, how far back from Gasho is Perry McCarthy? Anyway, I think Taki Inoue and Paul Belmondo are safe in 1st and 2nd place. With 2 laps still to go. So let's quickly run through all the retirements. UGZ, Bell Schneider, Gregor Wojcik, Oscar Larori, Gabriele Tarquini, Aguri Suzuki, Pierre-Henri Raffanel, Volker Weigler, surprise, Olivier Griard, and Jean-Denis Delatraz, and Nicola Larini. And we're about to start the last lap but one, as Murray Walker would say. And Taki Inoue looks like he's going to hold on to the lead. Want to see what's going on between Gasho and Perry McCarthy. Yeah, Perry McCarthy's dropped back quite a bit now. Or has it? No. Yes, Gasho, I think he's stuck in traffic again. Yes, we've still got our battle rejoin. We really do need to stop watching this battle between David Brabham and Jean-Marc going on for 8th position. Has Nick Worth bunged the... that's more like it. Yeah, I wonder if Nick Worth has bunged the TV director. Yeah, I think the people at MTV won't be too happy today. That's more like it. Right. Ramos, yeah. Gasho, Perry McCarthy and Roberto Moreno. Yeah, Roberto Moreno. They all start their last lap but one. But for whatever reason, I think Gasho's going to hold on. Although, having said that, more traffic ahead. Oh, look at that. It's for the it's the MasterCard Lola again. I feel like I've seen that MasterCard Lola everywhere today. Pedro Diniz is struggling to make his way past the Lola. And Taki Inoue is about to start his final lap of the race. As Gasho's being bought. Now can Perry McCarthy take advantage? No. Unfortunately not. Gasho's got his way past the Lola. Yes, Aspiri's holding off. And Moreno's taking advantage. Roberto Moreno on the last lap but one. He has sneaked his way past his teammate. And Perry McCarthy managed to stay ahead of his teammate for practically the whole race. And Moreno sneaks by on the final lap but one. Taki Inoue has started his last lap. Now can Roberto Moreno do anything about Gasho, as Gasho is struggling to get past Pedro Diniz. I'm getting ready to ring the Taki Inoue soundbite for Rio. On merit. Now don't worry, I'm sure we'll be cutting to Taki before the race is over. Taki is on his final lap. And look at this. Moreno is all over Gasho's rear wing. It's all kicking off on the final lap. But where is our race leader, Taki Inoue? There he goes. There he is. He should have won the first race in Phoenix. As he's about to round the final corner. Taki Inoue is about to win the Argentine Grand Prix. And I am getting to run the soundbite. Never in doubt. Come on, soundbite.
It's a win for Taki Inoue.
Thank you, Murray. It's a win for Taki Inoue. Paul Belmondo finishes second. Bertrand Gasho is going to hold on to third. Good race from him. Good race from the Andrea Modas as well. Can Moreno get him on the line? Gasho just holds on to the lead. And Giovanna Amati holds on to 6th. Andrea Montemini a good 7th. And Vincenzo Sospiri is the last runner. And now we just wait for the final runners to cross the start-finish line. We now ride with Eric van der Poel. What a dismal race though for the Simtek team though. Yeah, dreadful race for the Simtek team though. I think Pacific with the good points so for Belmondo and Gasho, the Simtek team will have taken the top of the championship away. And now we join Jean-Marc Gounon. Dismal race for the Simtek team. Congratulations, Taki Inoue. It's been a long time coming. Folks, hope you enjoyed this race. I certainly have. Catch you next time in the next weekend for my final stream before I go away on my holiday. Tune in for a race at Le Mans, a race between the Group C cars, LMP 900 cars and GT1 cars, and I'm going to be at that wheel of the Magic Jag for the first time in what has felt like an eternity, because I have so missed driving the Magic Jag. Right, enjoy the rest of your Easter weekend, folks. Go enjoy the rest of your Easter eggs. Catch you next time.